ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 Hari Om. So we saw verses 1 to 20 so far, and today we will see the verses 21 to 30. Before that, before we start, let us pray to Lord Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva. अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला चल शिव अरुणाचला. So now let's recite verses 21 to 30 first. Though I beg, thou art careless and dost not condescend, I pray thee, say to me, fear not, O Arunachala. Unasked thou givest, this is thy imperishable fame. Do not belie thy name, O Arunachala. Sweet fruit within my hands, let me be mad with ecstasy, drunk with the bliss of thy essence, O Arunachala. Blazoned as the devourer of thy votaries, how can I survive who have embraced thee, O Arunachala? Thou unruffled by anger, what crime have I committed that thou dost not make me, my ego, your target, O Arunachala? Glorious mountain of love, celebrated by Gautama, rule me with thy gracious glance, O Arunachala. Dazzling sun that swallowest up all the universe in thy rays, open the lotus of my heart, I pray, O Arunachala. Let me, thy prey, surrender unto thee and be consumed, and so have peace, O Arunachala. O moon of grace, with thy cool rays as hands, open within me the ambrosial orifice, and let my heart rejoice, O Arunachala. Tear off these robes, expose me naked, and then robe me with thy love, O Arunachala. So let's start with the verse 21. Though I beg, thou art careless and dost not condescend, I pray thee, say to me, fear not, O Arunachala. So the bhakta, the devotee, Ramana Maharshi, the bride, is telling to the bridegroom Bhagavan Arunachala. The devotee realizes that so far a lot of accusations has been made onto Bhagavan, that Bhagavan has been deceitful and he has been indifferent, unmerciful on looking at my plight, on the bride's plight, and still not doing anything about it, unmoved. So a lot of accusations has been going on, so forth. But now the bhakta pleads to Bhagavan that Bhagavan, you are Abhaya Pradhan. You Pradata, actually, in Sanskrit. You protect everybody from fear, and so it's also your duty to protect me from fear, to protect me who have come to you, who has come to a refuge. Such as I, who have come to you, please, please, please offer your, uh, please offer me with fearlessness. Please protect me with from fear. So Arunachala here is again requested that you are the ocean of grace. Now, the grace is already flowing, Bhagavan. I have no doubt in that. Uh, but when the bhakta is not ready, when the field is not ready, then that grace is not felt. So, okay, Bhagavan, I know so far I have accused you, but I understand. I realize that the problem is in me, that I have to do the Antakaran Shuddhi. I have to plow the field. It is work has to be done on my end. I realize that. Uh, it's not a fault of gentle rain. It is not the fault of the grace you are already showering uh, all over on everyone. That's not a fault. The problem is the delay. The field is not prepared, and so the seeds cannot sprout. Uh, Grace is always there. The defects are in me, the devotee, because of which this grace is being obstructed. So I am becoming a little bit impatient. So Bhagavan, I am praying, Arunachala, I am praying that you please at least until I work on my defects, until I plow my field, until I do that, please, offer or please protect me from fear, because the bhakta becomes insecure, right? Until you know the truth, until you have realized the truth, um, you have a tendency to be insecure because you're not interested in the worldly things, so you have given up on it, and you still have to yet realize God in the full potential. You still have to abide in this vision that I am Arunachala, I am Brahman, I am uh, indifferent from Bhagavan. So until that vision becomes my vision, until I abide in this reality, there is going to be a tendency of insecurity, because yes, I have given up that worldly interest. My interest, I have changed the focus of my interest from the worldly sense objects uh, to you, O Arunachala. And because I still have these defects in me, that still have to plow the field in the sense of Antakaran Shuddhi or Chitta, Naishalya, like steadiness of the mind. So I agree I have to work on it, but oh, Arunachala, please, until then, until I work on it, say to me, fear not, because your words, it gives me a great sense of comfort. So I request you, O Arunachala, to please speak to me, fear not, to please protect me from fear, because your nature is Abhaya, you are Abhaya Pradata. So I request you, Arunachala, to please assure me that I need not fear, to please protect me from the insecurity that I face in the lack of abidance in knowledge, in the lack of abidance of the vision of non-duality between yourself, Arunachala, and me, between you and me. Then the Bhakta goes on, unasked thou givest, this is thy imperishable fame. Do not belie them thy name, O Arunachala. So how is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is all knowing. We don't even have to ask. Bhagavan already knows what I want, even before my asking, as a physical act or even a mental act of asking that Bhagavan, this is what I want, even whether even if you ask for Chitta Shuddhi or whatever, Bhagavan already knows what I want. So here the Bhakta is telling, is praising the greatness of God in a way. And then, so Bhagavan, how are you? You know everything. even without my asking, you know all my wants. Uh, so, so then why do I even have to, beg for, keep on asking for the same thing for so long? Please do not uh, uh, belie thy name. So you are very people know you for this. So why don't you execute on this and make it true, so that people do not accuse that you are not keeping up to your promises. So there is another thing as well. The commentator has mentioned here that Bhagwan knows what the bhakta wants, as well as Bhagwan is capable. So Bhagwan is omniscient and omnipotent. He is capable. He has the power to fulfill the desires of the bhakta. And so if Bhagavan doesn't fulfill the desire of this pining devotee, then what will happen to the greatness of Bhagavan? So that's it's like uh, a constant, I guess, commenting uh, accusations. What will people think of Lord? Will they not accuse Lord of heartlessness? You are not heartless, Bhagavan, but if you do not fulfill this wish of mine, then people will take you to be heartlessness. But that is not what you are. So, to safeguard your reputation, you should shower your praise on this devotee soul of mine. Then in the 23rd verse, sweet fruit within my hands, let me be mad with ecstasy, drunk with the bliss of thy essence, O Arunachala. So here they are talking about aparoksha gnanam. Like there is this illustration that I want to know the self, how, like the fruit in my hand, like that the like that what amalak fruit, uh like the gooseberry in my hand. The amalak fruit, like the gooseberry in my hand, uh how that is immediate, how that is pratyaksha, uh like that I want to know the self, or I want to know I am Arunachala, the non-duality between Arunachala and self. This is how I want to know. Aparokshataya, immediate, without any intervention of sense organs or any other intervention, space, time. Uh, so let me realize my true self. Let me realize you, O Arunachala, like this immediately, aparokshataya, and only when it is so that I would become mad with ecstasy, because then I would dwell in my true nature, which is limitless happiness. So, grant me this vision, O Arunachala, I pray to you, grant me this vision of aparoksha gnanam, of niratishay sukha. Then the fourth verse is blazoned as the devourer of thy votaries. How can I survive who have embraced thee, O Arunachala? So, so commentator says here that God is determined to kill his devotees. Uh, what is the devouring that we are talking? What is the killing that we are talking? It is the killing of the individuality, because individuality is not a real entity, it is a false entity, uh, born of superimposing the qualities of one on the other, of the inert non self on the self, So this entity of ego or individuality as though seems to be real, but what do, O Arunachala? You devour this individuality, you devour this ego, and leave me when this ego, when this individuality is devoured, what is left is my true self, and there is no division between you and me then. So this is how Arunachala or Bhagavan makes the realization of self easy for the devotee. So the ego of devotee is destroyed by the God's grace, and here, there are, commentator says that here there are two entities to begin with, and by the process of negation only one remains, or one discovers there is the other one doesn't exist to begin with, and in this way there is union with Brahman, with self and Arunachala. How? Not that two entities of same degree of reality are merging, or it's not union of two same degree of reality. It is um, one is negated, one is realized to be mithya, and so in this way the union is realized that there is only one to begin with, and so this is how self is realized as Brahman in its true nature, when the false superimpositions are given up, and so the ego, the individuality is dropped. So this leads to realization, which is the goal of Advaita, where duality between devotee and uh, devoted also does not remain. So again, you devour the ego, the individuality, and I, such as I, who has embraced thee, who has taken your refuge, you devour my individuality, and how can I survive? The individuality, the ego can definitely not survive. And when that doesn't survive, what happens is the uh, uh, union with our true identity. I recognize my true self, which is non-duality with Arunachala, with Brahman, with Bhagavan. Thou, unruffled by anger, what crime have I committed that thou dost not make me, my ego, your target, O Arunachala? So here again there is Ninda Stuti. So here the devotee Jeev tells, what offense have I committed that I am guilty of? Why is it that you have chosen me as your target for destruction? God, you are known for destroying, and you have chosen me for as your target for destruction. So, what have I committed? What crime have I committed that you are destroying me? This is what the devotee is asking to begin with. Uh, but then the devotee also realizes that God, I I know that I'm not perfect. I have many imperfections. The very fact that you have chosen me I to destroy, I must have done some past good karmas, some past merits for which I'm receiving this grace of yours, O Lord Shiva, O Arunachala. So God's grace is always there, but when the devotee develops the proper attitude, the adhikaritva, and tunes up with God, then this grace is felt and transforms her. she then becomes God's target. So there are a couple of things here, but let me state the last point here as well, and then we'll go over this again. People think of Lord Shiva Rudra as possessed of anger, but indeed that is not so. You are endowed with auspicious qualities. The truth is, destruction of the world is the most benevolent act of God. Just like sleep is to the individual soul, so is the cosmic dissolution to the entire creation. Of course, we are not going to feel so because we always feel, we give reality to the entire creation, to everything around us, and as if, and because we feel we are part of the creation, so we are always scared of this, scared and insecure of what will happen to me if I get destroyed. But just as how dear sleep is to us and how we get rejuvenated after the sleep, so also this kind of destruction is required and beneficial for the entire creation. When we look from the aspect, from the standpoint of the samashti, from the standpoint of the creator, um, and not just the individual self. So here the bhakta is saying that people think of you as the lord of anger, but actually, Bhagavan, it is only your benevolence. Your anger is actually the benevolence on this creation. Uh, what crime have I committed? Well, or what punya have I committed that you are making me your target? It's only when you make me your target for destroying me, my ego, then alone I will become one with you, O Arunachala. So, indeed, this is my punya, I believe, that you are making me your target. So, then verse number 26, glorious mountain of love, celebrated by Gautama, rule me with thy gracious glance, O Arunachala. So here, this is referring to a Purana Katha. So it is said, the commentator says here that it is believed that Parvati ji once playfully closed the three eyes of Lord Shiva for a while. Uh, but because of this, what happened was darkness enveloped the world and all the life became extinct for a long time. So Parvati ji had to, as an atonement, as prayashchit, she had to take birth on the earth, and then she did a lot of tapas and offered worship to Lord at Kanchipuram, they say, uh, to reunite with Lord Shiva. So God then directed her to proceed to Tiruvannamalai and learn from sage Gautama there the discipline of becoming one with Lord, to realizing the true nature. And the sage Gautama, he he praised the Lord, having realized his true nature. So he must be doing his tapasya, and he must have realized his true nature, the non-duality between Bhagavan and him, and he was praising. And when Parvati ji heard this praise about um, the Lord, she became even more devoted. Her devotion became even more intense, and she merged with Lord. So the devotee here is reminding Lord of that whole incident and telling Bhagavan how you merged, absorbed Parvati ji within you. So also you 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 please uh, shower your grace on me. You please accept me as well. That I too should receive your grace and be saved, just like Parvati ji was saved. Then in the verse 27, uh, dazzling sun that swallowest up all the universe in thy rays, open the lotus of my heart, I pray, O Arunachala. So, couple of things are said here. So, Hridaya Granthi is being talked about. Open the lotus of my heart. That is the Hridaya Granthi. It is being talked. So, what is the state of bondage? State of bondage is described as this Hridaya Granthi, the knot of heart, which implies the various notions that I entertain about myself, that I am fat, I'm big, I'm tall, I'm smart or not smart, etc. Uh, all these various notions I have, not recognizing my true nature and taking myself to be otherwise limited, all this is Hridaya Granthi. This is the state of bondage. And this state of bondage is compared with the lotus bud. It is not a flower yet, it is a bud. But these flowers, the lotus bud, it opens in the sunlight, in the rays of the sun. So also this bhakta is telling that Bhagavan, you are the sun who can open this bud, who can remove the ignorance by by uh, by who can shed off the ignorance by um, by spreading your knowledge onto me. So, so please make this heart lotus of mine open. The sun of wisdom, which is your very nature, the wisdom which is your very nature, please dawn that wisdom upon me so that this heart blooms, so that all the bondage breaks. So the devotee appeals to the sun of suns. So Arunachala is said to be the sun of the suns. It is uh, not the regular sun, but it is the very sun which it is the sun of the suns which provides the existence and the satta and spurti even to the sun and the moon and all the illuminatories. To Lord, such as you please shine in my heart so that it may open and gain its purpose. What is the purpose? To shed off the ignorance, to shed off the Hridaya Granthi, the various notions, because they are false. So that is the purpose, to give up the false notions and realize my true identity, the non-duality with Brahman. So dawn the wisdom upon me so that this heart blooms. Let this heart bloom, breaking the bonds. When will the heart bloom? When the bondage breaks. So when the ignorance is shed, then the lotus will bloom. Then the knowledge, then the limitless happiness will be realized. So let that be, let that happen, uh, let that wisdom dawn upon me. And verse 28, let me, thy prey, surrender unto thee and be consumed, and so have peace, O Arunachala. So here, beautiful thing that we all are when we start our life, we are engrossed in our own materialistic wants, etc. And at some point, we realize that we do need a divine help, and we approach to Bhagavan with some of our materialistic needs or emotional needs or whatever, some need. So with some selfish need, we approach Bhagavan. Uh, but definitely it is even this is better than not thinking about Bhagavan, not approaching Bhagavan itself. So this is better. But ultimately, as the relationship with our Bhagavan becomes more intimate, and we understand Bhagavan better, uh, and so uh, we understand that there is God is all, and nothing else is real. When we gain this kind of understanding, then we don't fall for the finite, the limited ends, that Bhagavan, I want this or that, and that is why I'll come for. Then we just go for Bhagavan, I'm here for you, because I want to know you, because I want to be with you, I want to unite with you. So then uh, the varnam is not for any selfish means or selfish needs. So this is what God does, that we approach to God for something, for some food. I want something, I want something. But as we continue to approach God, God devours that very need, the very hunger, the very desire in us, the desirer in us. Uh, and the resultant, what is the result of it? It is ultimate peace. We gain peace as our desires are devoured, as our desires are shed off, as they are removed. We enjoy a peace in our mind, um, because one's individuality or ego finds destruction in God. So oh, we were in 31, right? Sorry. So, so let me, thy prey, surrender unto thee and be consumed, and so have peace. So you can consume me, Lord, because when you consume me, I feel at peace. Uh, this is a beautiful predator-prey relationship, where the prey is himself or herself requesting to the predator to consume him or her, because the end result is not death here. The end result is peace. After being consumed, the end result here is peace. So it's a different kind of predator prey relationship. 29, Arunachala. O moon of grace, with thy cool rays as hands, open the ambrosial orifice and let my heart rejoice, O Arunachala. So somewhere it is Bhagavan is compared to sun. Here it is compared to moon, because moon gives a sense of coolness, a sense of assurance, and in that sense, Arunachala is compared to moon. Uh, just as the moon opens the lily bud, in the same way, our mind is always burning. It's burning with the passions, with the desires. And what does God do? God, like the moon, it's the grace of God is like moon, who cools everything, who cools uh, um, all the burning sensations, and he can open this heart lily and make it brim up with ambrosia of divine bliss. That is, uh, with that coolness, when the desires of the mind are taken care of, we can uh, we can feel the peace and happiness within. So uh, so that aspect, that aspect of Arunachala is being invoked here. That Arunachala, you are like moon. You take away all my desires, all my burning sensations of these mind, and you are like a moon. Then in the 30th verse, tear off these robes, expose me naked, and then robe me with thy love, O Arunachala. We would be surprised of what this is talking about. This is talking about Panchakosha Viveka. So the Bhakta is saying that the true nature of Jiva is obscured because of this five koshas, namely Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. That we are identified with one of the koshas at one of the time, one or more of the koshas at one of the time, and because of that, we are not aware of our true identity. So our true nature is veiled because of this. And what is the cause of all these five koshas? Avidya, ignorance, not knowing my true self. So these have to be discarded, and these what has to be discarded? Not the Annamaya Kosh, my identity that I am body. That notion is Annamaya Kosh. That I am Prana. That notion is Pranamaya Kosh. That I am Manomaya. That notion. So all these notions have to be discarded. The body will remain, mind will remain, prana will remain, everything will remain, but my tendency to identify with it, that this I am, that notion has to be discarded. So, oh Arunachala, this robe, what is the robe I'm wearing right now? The robe, the upadhi I'm wearing right now is, although I am Brahman, I don't realize that, and I take myself to be limited on account of identifying with these robes, on account of relating myself with this Annamaya, Pranamaya, etc. robes. So you please tear off this tendency of identification with these panchakosha, that is the tearing of the robes, and then expose me naked. So when I am one without the panchakoshas, when that identification is not there, then robe me with thy love. No separate process of robing is required, because then what is left is your true self. But still, that happiness to realize, to make us remind that, to make Bhagavan remind that, who are you, Bhagavan? Bhagavan, you are love. And when you will robe me with that love, I will realize my true nature, which is happiness, which is your true nature as well. So please discard this five koshas, and let me reclaim my true nature. And give me the clothing of thy grace. That is the clothing the devotees ask for. That it is only by your grace, Bhagavan or Arunachala, that I can do this Panchakosha Viveka, and I can realize my true self. So again, uh, continue to bless me, and the bhakta is going to continue to pray until he gets exhausted of praying. I believe. But so we have seen so far, and next time we will see from verses 31 to 40. So let's end with the prayers. अरुणाचल शिव, अरुणाचल शिव, अरुणाचल शिव, अरुणाचला, अरुणाचल शिव, अरुणाचल शिव, अरुणाचल शिव, अरुणाचला. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. हरि ओम.